Happy Monday, my writers. Today for writing workshop, you're going to need your pencil and your writing notebook. Go ahead and open up into our last lesson, which was our prompt planning for the paragraph on our favorite subject. You were following along with Mrs. Ling's modeling of picking the subject that I found the most enjoyable in school is math. So we created our idea web based on the prompt, what is your favorite subject in school? We showed how we pulled lots of ideas to put in our idea web. We then took our 3 ideas and we created our formatted planning sheet, having our Oreo setup of the topic in the top box, followed by the 3 reasons, and then underneath those 3 reasons also had an explanation or an example. And then the last thing that we created was the conclusion. So we went from reading the prompt to pulling out and creating the idea web to then using those ideas to be a more solid plan. And today we're going to be moving on to write the actual essay from our planning sheet. So if you would go ahead and turn your page, we're going to list this as page 29. Then you're going to turn back to your table of contents. On page 29, we're going to write paragraph writing dash favorite subject. So we know that this is a continuation from our previous page. And you're going to also be coding this with our colors that we had done last week. So we'll talk about that in a moment. So this is 10-5-20. So remember, at any point, please pause the video to get yourself caught up and then push play when you're ready to continue with me. Turning back to page 29. We are not going to be gluing anything in. As we said, we're going to be basing our paragraph that we're writing on the previous page that was our planning sheet. So before we start that, I want us to go back to the last time that we pulled from a planning sheet to write an essay. So the last time that we modeled this was for the subject of the hardest job. You were once again just listening to Mrs. Ling do her think aloud. We did our planning sheet. We wrote our 3 reasons. We had our 3 explanation or examples, and then we used this information and pulled it over to one complete paragraph that had the different components. We said the different components were the topic sentence. Then we had a color code for our reasonings. Then we had our explanations, which were a different color. And then we finally were finished with it with our conclusion. So you're doing the same thing today. Mrs. Ling is not going to be recording the entire time I'm writing the essay because this is going to be a process this week of slowly releasing some of this responsibility to you, so you're creating these on your own. So we did the entire thing together for hardest job. For favorite subject, we did all of the idea thinking, the planning together. We pretty much have everything recorded that you need to pull over. You are going to just be making sure that you are indenting at the beginning of this paragraph and then writing word for word what Mrs. Ling has already given to you. And then the last thing that you're going to make sure you do on your own is to color code them. So we're going to just remind ourselves of the colors that are going to be needed. So using your crayons, you're going to use a red when you talk about your topic. So I'm going to just put a dot to remind myself the topic is going to be red. Then we had our reasonings are going to be blue. So underlining the 3 reasons separately are going to be blue. Then when you get to your actual explanations or examples, that's going to be green. And Mrs. Ling's green crayon is broken, so I'm going to just show you in a pen. You are going to use crayon or color pencil instead. So that's going to be green. Then when you get to the very end, once again, we're going to show the other part of the cookie that sandwiches all that important information together to be red. So today you're going to take these 3 things, or these 4 components, and on the next page, you're going to create the essay that looks exactly like we've done together. So we're going to start the first sentence together just to get you going. So looking back at the topic, it's going to start with the sentence, there are many things I like about school, but the one subject I always enjoy learning about is math. So we're going to start by indenting. So we remember that we use our thumb. We use the width of our thumb to show the distance between the margin red line and where we actually begin. So take your pencil and we're going to start writing the first word, which is there. Then you can keep flipping back and forth. It says there are many things. So we're going to keep writing. There are many things. And then flip back. I like about school, comma. So I like about school, comma. And then the rest of the sentence is, but the one subject I always enjoy learning about is math. So we're going to write, but the one subject I always enjoy learning about is math. Period. So once again, this is just our topic sentence. So if you want to color code as you write, that's okay, just to make sure you have all your components. So we said the topic sentence is going to be underlined with red. So take your red crayon or color pencil, no markers, no highlighters, and underline it. The last time I saw a couple of you shade in like you were highlighting with a crayon, that is not what you're being asked to do. Underline so we can see clearly the words written in pencil. Then you're going to go ahead and continue writing the rest of your paragraph by flipping to your planning and writing the sentences how they're presented. So the next sentence you're going to write is math follows specific patterns and sequence. You're going to be writing that as your next sentence, then following it by the explanation, then the second reason, explanation, third reason, explanation, and finally writing the conclusion. As you are writing, you can color code by underlining with the colors that we've indicated. And when you take a picture of your completed essay today, it must be written according to the plan and color coded. The last two things we're going to talk about before you are going to finish on your own is because we did the indentation, we know that we should have one star to indicate that there is a space that we've indented. The rest of the lines of your paragraph should all be lined up to the red margin so it fits in the designated space. It should not ever be in the margin area, and you should not be making it more narrow, meaning that there's a big gap between the margin and your actual lines. The second thing we're going to do is to write the topic of this essay. So we said that this was our paragraph. Let me just look at the wording. Paragraph writing favorite subject. So we're going to write at the top, paragraph writing dash favorite subject. And this is just a reminder of what we're covering on this page. This is our topic. So once again, when we finish the video, finish writing the paragraph based on the prompts. So taking this, moving it over, color code by underlining with the appropriate color. The one page that you are going to submit to me today for this assignment is a picture of your completed page. That way I know that you've watched your video and you have followed directions.